Roxy, how are you today? Today is real gray outside and I really like it. Favorite weather. I love it when it rains. I love it when it's all crisp and cold and you want to put a big sweater on and drink tea. It's my favorite. Lately I've been testing a few things with different art materials in the studio, and today I want to keep doing that, but I think I'm gonna vlog the process and let you know what I'm up to. But first, you guessed it, coffee. My favorite place in the world, the art supply store. I could stay here for hours. Looking through paper, I found some Lennox paper. Oh my god, I want to buy it just because it says Lennox. Okay, I gotta stick to what I came for and not overspend. Alright, back in the studio. Okay, let me show you what I wanted to test and what I've already started testing. I've got a few things here. Oh, I framed this little flower from the 30-day challenge. I think it looks pretty nice. Okay, back to the testing. First, I'm testing some blacks. There's different brands that are available near where I'm living. One of which that I really like is Liquitex. It's expensive though, but it's really good quality. But there are less quality brands that are a lot cheaper, like a lot cheaper. And so I'm testing them and I want to see how different they are from the high quality brand to see like what options I have. Hachem is one of the brands. So there's Carbon and Mars, and TriArt is another brand, and then we have Liquitex here. Another thing I want to test out. So I've put stripes of colors randomly on the canvas board, and I want to test out varnishes. I bought small containers of varnishes with different finishes. I want to see what I like best. Varnish wise, again, I want to see how the different finish will alter the colors or not. I personally like a matte finish. I don't know if it's achievable in varnishes. And the last test I want to do has to do with white. So this is the cheap white paint, cheap as in inexpensive, because it performs really well from what I've tried so far versus the more expensive paint. So these are my two contenders. I'm testing the soft body and heavy body. The reason that I need a lot of white paint is that I don't like, well, let me show you. So for a piece like this, I want to paint the canvas white because there's a lot of white showing and I don't want the raw canvas as the background. Exactly like I did on this piece, I put a thick layer of white as a background. This tub is, I think, more expensive for this quantity than this tub. And another thing that I want to test is how much the thickness of the paint changes when it dries. I don't know if you know what I mean. Let's say you put like a really thick, luscious coat of paint where you see the texture and the little peaks and valleys and you work hard to get that nice effect, and when the paint dries all the moisture evaporates, and how much of that texture is left and what does that look like. All this testing, and once I know, I'll know. So I'm gonna start testing, but it's really chilly in here today. It's, as I was showing you before, it's raining, it's cold, it's crisp, I love it, but I'm cold in here, so I'm gonna make a cheeky little fire. Because my studio, I don't know if I told you ever, my studio is in my home, and my living room is right here, and there's a fireplace, so I'm gonna make a fire. You know how people do outfits of the day? This is my outfit of the day. I have David's socks on, with the old dad or mom jeans with paint on it, my super apron, and I got a beanie on because my hair is dirty. This was an initial test with the crappy Liquitex full of bubble that I think is too much diluted. This is the Hachem, which is the one I'm hoping will be the winner because it's the cheapest. And this is the new paint, the brand new heavy body Liquitex, and the soft body, which is a lot more liquidy. I'm gonna wait until this is dry to see how much texture it retains. And here on this black line, this is the first coat of both paints, and I'm gonna see how many coats it takes to cover it, because the Hachem paint on the first coat was pretty translucent, second coat was better, the third coat was pretty good for covering my black marker. While I wait for some stuff to dry, let me show you. I got these. I was talking about them during my studio tour. And then you erase it. And I'm using this magic eraser, spongy thing, to remove the chalk. They have different colors. I just got like a black and a white. Wonder why. Here are my blacks. It's so hard to tell. Usually the carbon black has a reputation for being glossier and more like plasticky and reflective and feel the blackest. Whereas Mars might be a little bit more matte. I'm gonna take a closer look. Honestly, there's no noticeable difference, only the price. I think I'm gonna mix some black with white to see if one of them is like a more cool tone or warm tone black. That would be the only other thing that I could think of, because as far as opacity and texture or tone, they do the job. I'm seeing a couple slight differences, but I don't even know if it's my brain playing tricks on me. I don't think Liquitex is my favorite, honestly, surprisingly. So I'll do the white gray test. Here are the grays. There's not much difference aside from the carbon black. The other three are all Mars Black and different brands. So I think the carbon has like a smidgen of yellow compared to the other ones. The difference is very subtle. I would not prevent myself from buying a carbon black thinking it would be yellowish, because it doesn't seem yellowish really. It's just by comparison to the other ones that have a bluish hue, it might be slightly different. As far as these three, I know that there's a glare here, but I don't know. I don't see that much of a difference. On top of the fact that the other brand, the cheaper brand, is light fast, and I have a feeling that you pay for the name and the reputation and maybe like the years that they've been in business and they did research and things like that, but I think that there are more unknown brands that still might have quality ingredients nowadays because so much progress has been made. I think I'm gonna support this local homemade brand and use it because it's so much more affordable. Okay, so this is the test in progress. I started with this airbrush medium. That's my first strip. Then I went with the varnishes. I just read the instructions, and for the matte and satin varnish, they say to put a gloss varnish as your first coat for a better result. I'm not doing it, but at least I'll have the worst case scenario. The instructions say that I have to wait 3 hours in between coats, and I'm supposed to do 2 thin coats. And the rest of the strips are the matte, gloss, and ultra matte gel mediums. So you're supposed to mix those with paints to get different consistencies and finishes. The second to last strip is the matte medium, which I used a lot to dilute my paints and to do collage with. So I want to see again how it affects the vibrancy of the colors. And my last strip, what I'm going to do is mix some airbrush medium, which is the consistency of water, but it's glossy, not high gloss, but slightly glossy. And I want to mix it with matte medium to give kind of like a satin finish and see how I like that, because that could be very interesting, especially for collaging. I wouldn't get the high gloss thing. I would get like a satin finish, but I would get like a thick-ish consistency for gluing the paper together. So here's the final verdict with the white. Honestly, 3 coats of a super expensive Liquitex paint is not really covering this. And the soft body and heavy body have kind of like the same opacity. It's just that one you could lay it thicker than the other, but When it's in thin layers, the opacity is kind of the same. So this one dries a lot flatter, the soft body. The heavy body keeps its like icing texture. But compared to the cheaper brand, I don't know. I like the cheaper brand. I just like the effect it gives, the finish. Going to go with the cheaper brand. It's good news. Idea for an oil pastel video where I would do the same simple drawing for each brand of oil pastel that I own, and I was just playing around with a simple landscape design. I don't think it's conclusive. I'm not gonna use this specific design. I'm gonna find something super simple that I could reproduce pretty fast and that has a limited color palette so that I could test it out with every single oil pastel set that I have. So at the end I might have like 12 different little vignettes and I could compare how different they are. Come see mama. I'm taking a cuddle break. Come see mama. Come see mama. Yay! Oh, you're so beautiful. Your nose is a work of art. I hope you liked today's vlog. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I would really love for you to come back and hit that bell, the notification bell. If you've already subscribed, we're friends. Hello. I don't know if you know this, but I've been doing YouTube for 2 years. Working really hard to get this channel to be bigger, better all the time, but it's a very slow growth. I've been trying to put out a lot more videos in the past few months, I would say. What's difficult, I find, is that most of the people that are subscribed don't get notified when a new video is out. And if like, let's say I'm subscribed to multiple channels, let's say I'm subscribed to 80 channels, well, I don't get notified on every single one. I get notified only on the ones that I press the bell to get the specific notification. And depending on what kind of videos I watch, let's say on a given day, my recommended videos will be very different from one day to another because of the algorithm. So it's kind of difficult to have people subscribe, come back and watch the videos. One of the things that can help is obviously if people share the video, if they click like. So if I make a video that you actually really like, don't be shy to click like because it makes a difference. When there's a lot of activity on a specific video, whether it's likes or comments or shared or views, the YouTube algorithm will recommend the video, and I would really like to grow this little community that we have. I think it would be awesome. So to give me a hand, maybe you can leave me a comment below. Maybe you can let me know what art project you're currently working on or what art project you want to start very soon. I'd like to know, and it's fun when you see everybody's answer. It kind of gives you inspiration and ideas. I can show you what art project I want to work on in the next few weeks, or like to finish as soon as possible. It's this one. It's 2 hands holding a heart. It's a new series that I'm starting. But there's so many art projects that I have going at once. You know, there's the big black and white paintings, there's abstract landscapes, there's so many things, there's the oil pastel stuff. So this is a new series. I'm excited to do it. I started painting it a couple months ago and I actually filmed myself painting it, and I'll show you at some point. So that's my next goal, is to finish that painting. I don't know how it's going to come out, but it's just like a new concept. I'm excited. It keeps coming in the back of my head, you know. I just have to find the time to do it because there's so many things I want to do. I wish I were faster and more efficient, but anyways, I'll get to it eventually. So let me know your current art projects. I'll talk to you in the comments, and I'll see you for another video in just a couple days. Sending you